Everyone, and welcome to the June 18th council meeting. If you'll please stand for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Excuse me.
We gather today here intent on doing good work. We seek to represent fairly and well those who have given us this task. May our efforts be blessed with insight, guided by understanding and wisdom. We seek to serve with respect for all. May our personal faith give us strength to act honestly and well in all matters before us. Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Once again, welcome to the meeting on a hot Tuesday afternoon, evening. It's good to see people here. Just roll call.
Mrs. Lingo?
Here.
Mr. Parsons?
Here.
Mr. Redding?
Here.
Mrs. Dosa?
Here.
Mr. George?
Here.
Mr. Young?
Here.
Mrs. Rissel?
Okay, everyone is present and accounted for. And you have before you the minutes from our previous meeting. Anybody have any corrections or anything they've seen on that?
I just think it should be noted, we had a hearing, public hearing before the meeting on the tax budget.
I am.
Everybody get that one? Anything else, council? We need to have another public hearing on that, Scott?
Just the one?
Just one? Okay. And I ask for a motion to approve the minutes as corrected.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as corrected.
I'll second.
Mr. Parsons has made a motion to approve. And, my gosh,
George.
Mr. George has seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, correspondence. Monthly police report is in your packet, and take a look at that. I don't think we need to go through that item by item here, so. Guest and special events, none, Mr. Bauer. Public input, who here would like to address city council tonight?
I'm sorry. We babysat all day today. We're like, okay.
Come on up, Dave, and give us your name and address.
Oh, wake up.
David and Vicky Sturworth, 1590 Adams Road. We've been here many times before.
It happened again.
Your car.
This time it missed our car.
We, last, I guess, after we were here last time, I bought 2 6-foot by 2-foot feed bins from a feed store down in Indiana, and I filled them up with concrete blocks and gravel and dirt and made them into beautiful little flower pots or big flower pots. And they've been hit once before, but just moved about 6 inches. This time on Father's Day, somebody must have came around the corner coming out of UDF. I don't know how fast they were going, but they moved these 500-pound pots 7 feet.
Wow.
Both of them.
I mean, they damaged both of them, and we still can't park Vicky's car there safely, so we have to find a way to either have to empty them or get them moved back to where they were. So,
The female cop told us that she was going to get in touch with the city and have them come out and move it, so.
order,
Did you get a
Justin?
work order? No?
First time hearing of it.
Really? to move it. You can see where they originally were. Because we can't, and she said that, I'm strong, I can move it, and she's not familiar with what's happened in the past, and we're like, you won't be able to move it. Yes, I can, and she went, and she's like, I can't.
She's told us that she was going to put a work order in for the
Yeah.
city to
And
help
she
us
was
move
going to
them.
report it, so I don't even know if she reported it. We talked to 3 other officers about looking at the video camera from UDF, and all of a sudden, it's like their cameras aren't working. And it only shows the back of David's truck, which is next to our garage. And it's like, well, funny it's not working. I mean, because my car got totaled last year in February, and you had the full footage of what happened. And it's just not showing that spot, so.
So I talked to my good buddy, Mr. Kling at UDF again. I have his cell phone number. He's the director of real estate for United Dairy Farmers. And this time, well, first I called him Sunday in a rant, and then he called me back on Monday. Actually, I called him back again on Monday. I was much calmer. And
Excuse me.
and I said something about Mr. Lindner or something. I don't know what I said. But anyway, he called back and he was very cordial, and he was talking about putting up speed bumps again and cameras and all that fun stuff. So anyway, we're here to ask for help again. I don't know.
He said he was going to call you, Scott, so did he call you today?
He did. I tried to call him back. I wasn't in a time where I got a,
We
I don't know if I was in a
invited
meeting.
him
but-
here tonight also.
Okay. Is he in Ohio?
Oh,
Oh, yeah, he grew up in North College
Oh, did he?
Hill.
Okay, I wasn't even sure if he was local. He did call, and unfortunately I wasn't available when he called, but I tried to call back. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, what
A few
we've
hours ago,
noticed-
but, yeah.
What we've noticed is that the problem's not coming from going into the alley, from Adams Road. The problem is coming from United Dairy Farmers. So we would like to do something to block or do something to
Right.
prevent from coming down. Now, all the signs in the world's not gonna make a difference because they're gonna ignore them, which I
Right.
have already. UDF cooperated the first time, this is the third or fourth time stuff's been hit in our property, and we had to pay for it. So it's not fair. So anyway, they did put a half a speed bump up, so what they do is they go around the speed bump, and that's where they go and hit, so.
And
Yeah.
I know the last time we were up here and the chief was here, he was new at the time, and he says they were short on people and they really couldn't patrol people cutting through. There was many people cutting through still from Hamilton Avenue to avoid the light. And so we did talk to him and 2 other officers on Monday morning. They were over there. And he says, well, we've given quite a few tickets to people. They go down, I guess,
The center lane.
the left turn lane, and they cut in front of people to get in front of everybody when the traffic's heavy. I said, they also cut through. Well, this is the first I heard about it. I said, no, it isn't. So anyway, I don't know what they can do
Yeah.
about it, but
We figured if the city can attack UDF, because back when they first moved it, we heard, and what's his name?
Tim
Ted.
Kling said
Yeah,
that-
said that they put the utility pole in the wrong spot, and that's,
that's why they have almost a straight through from Hamilton Avenue to the alley.
To the
I don't know what the original architectural
and he
plans
was mad
were.
when that happened, because we heard him out there. He wasn't very happy with that, but.
So it's been a problem because, and it's their problem, they designed it wrong. The alley's too small for two-way traffic. And
And
it's-
they squeeze. I mean, I'm like, one of them was like laying their horn on, and I'm like halfway in the alley. I said, I live here. I live here. Get out of my way. I'm not backing up on Adams Road. You back up.
So, anyway, it's still a problem, so we can talk about solutions, maybe put a speed bump horizontally, or do what they did down in College Hill to Hamilton Avenue and block everything off. I don't care. But whatever you guys can do to help, we appreciate it.
I mean, it seemed last year Mr. Kling had kind of suggested similar things. I mean, did what he just recently told you, did it seem any different than what he said last year, or?
he was much more cordial. You know, he was cooperating, and I was only half listening, to be honest with you, because
Because we were mad. We
And-
were just talking on the phone to our kids out of town, inside. So we seen a bunch of teenagers go by and all of a sudden their heads turned, so something hit it, but you hear stuff all the time up there in the corner from
Sure.
accidents and that, so we don't jump up and see what's going on, we're, you know,
and we went out about 3 o'clock and noticed what
And
was going on.
noticed, and it's
So
like,
it happened between 1 and 3, so,
AM or PM?
or, in the afternoon.
In the afternoon?
Yeah.
afternoon, yeah. A lot of, when my car got totaled, it was like 2-something in the morning. And that was a drunk driver, because they caught them on camera. You know, they got out of to refresh everybody's memory, they got out of the car, switched drivers, got back in, backed up into UDF, back up into the alley, switched drivers again and took off. The cops told us this, and we got the footage on his phone, which we got, but they never got the license tag because, the plate because it was too blurry. But they knew everything else, and they knew what these people looked like, and the make of the car and everything else, but not that, so, and the first time it happened, it hit the back of my car, and that was, we're getting ready to go listen to our boys play up at Fibonacci, and here, came out, it was in the afternoon also, about 5-ish in the afternoon, and somebody hit, and they did leave some evidence, but never followed up on it, which kind of makes me mad with the cops because they act, it's almost like it's our fault. And then UDF, you know,
Yeah,
the one said,
Mr.
well, why
Kling
don't you-
said, why don't you, how about if we extend your parking area so you park further away from the alley so they can make the wider turn? I said, we've been parking there for 42 years, 45 years now. And I said, we were here long before you were, and we're not going to
We
change
already
anything.
extended.
You know?
And they keep wanting us to take more.
I said, no, I don't want to lose any of my yard because of your
Yeah.
people's customers. I said other words, but
Well, he did say also, you know, you can't fix stupid.
I
And it's
said,
like,
but-
but you know what, we can stop the stupid from coming out of the UDF, from coming out of your
Right.
store.
we have slowed them down to the speed bump, but I did the math, and there's over 60,000 cars have been over that speed bump already. So it's 147, I think, is when you did the count. 147 people go down that alley a day.
Right.
So, so over a year, it's over 60,000, and there's 2 axles, so it's 120,000. The speed bump has wore down quite a bit, so it has helped. It's slowed people down, but it's
Right.
still getting damaged, so that's the news.
So we're kind of frustrated. We're like,
No,
Don't know what-
I understand your frustration. But I guess I would ask Dave and Justin to get their heads together and see what they can come up with to slow it down. Second speed bump, I don't know.
Yeah.
Taller
Justin, have you
speed
talked
bump?
to Kling?
Close
Kling guy?
close the entrance, I don't know.
or make it one
Yeah,
way.
I still think they ought to close the exit.
That's what it's saying.
The thing is, when the trucks come up to unload for UDF,
See, that was the agreement they made with us. There's not supposed to be any of their truck traffic on the alley. And I talked to Mr. Kling about this, and after this last incident, UDF trucks are the only trucks, they don't go in the alley because they can't, they have to back in to deliver. But when they leave, they go down the alley towards Adams Road. And he says, well, and at that time, he says, well, we had a new driver, he was gonna take care of it. Well, it made it worse, I don't know, but, and then he says, well, they have a hard time maybe turning out of onto Adams Road up towards Hamilton. And I said that this was 4:30 in the morning. I was up going to the bathroom, and I was looking at the truck, and sure enough, he came down the alley. I said, I don't think that's the problem. So, the guy, you've talked to him, he's full of excuses, but
Yeah, even saw a Mount Healthy bus come out of UDF, trying to make that turn to go around and hit it, keep
Yeah,
back, and it's like,
the alley's too
can't
narrow
do
for
it.
any kind of,
so
that kind of
what was
traffic.
the reason before that they can't close that off, so people can't go through that? What was their reason that couldn't be closed off?
I didn't, I guess business. Even this time when we talked about making it one way, well, it has to be one way coming out. I said, I didn't argue with him, but You would think you would want the traffic to come into your store.
Turning right on you.
Instead of exit, but I don't.
I was wondering if they actually asked the city permission to open it up, because you guys we own this, the alley. So did they actually get the city's permission to
Because
use
the-
that?
the old
Because it's not supposed to be an exit, there's only 2 entrances and exits, you know.
The old store didn't use the alley when it was facing the other direction. So, I don't know. I know there was a change in the plans. There was not supposed to be an exit to the alley where it is now. It's something about a utility pole in the wrong place or something, so.
And then we got graffiti up there now too.
Yeah, there's
So-
graffiti on the wall, but we've talked to the
We
manager
keep-
about that.
We keep
but-
bringing that up, and that just, so,
So, anyway, we'll see what
Here
Mr.
we
Kling
are
says
again.
and see what you guys do, but there's gotta be a better way, so.
Right. Yeah, I'll give him a call back. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else here who'd like to address council? Come on up and give us your name and address, please.
DeAndre Williams. I stay at 1809 Compton Road. I'm addressing speeding issues on Compton. I don't know if you guys been aware of this lately, but it's been a few accidents. Somebody ran into, I think it was 1818 apartment building for speeding. Then they sideswiped the car over there. And also somebody hit my dog maybe last year. And they almost hit my other dog. But I've been noticing it's a lot of speeding over there between, as soon as you turn off Compton off of Hamilton and once you hit Harrison, and it's like open speed, it's like an open racetrack, and people just fly through there. Ever since they got rid of that stoplight, used to be at Werner, I've been noticing that. So I moved here in 2021. So I'm trying to see if you guys, been trying to figure out how to solve this issue, or maybe add some speed bumps. I know Cincinnati's getting speed bump crazy, but,
Yeah, we've been dealing with this all over the city.
okay,
It's not new to Compton Road either, but
right,
I guess we just have to keep at it,
okay.
whether we get speed humps or what we do. We've been buying some speed bumps. There's one out on Adams Road because they're doing 80, 90 mile an hour out there. And they're putting some blacktop ones in on Harrison Avenue, aren't they?
Yeah, we're adding permanent ones to Harrison.
I see.
The section they're doing right now, and then they'll do the southern section, possibly start this year, most likely next year. Add some there as well. But, Compton's on the radar to add them, because, it's
Oh,
it's
okay.
obviously a problem. And we had natural speed bumps there before it was redone, but obviously now it's an issue.
Okay, well, it's just an issue from Warner. I think, I see it from what I've been watching, it's just from Harrison to the Corp line, because then people kind of slow down once you get to Skyline, because you're going down the hill.
Right.
But I just bring that up and try to be proactive
Appreciate you
before
stopping up.
somebody gets hit.
Thanks for
Yeah,
coming,
thank
thanks
you.
for coming out.
Hey, no problem.
Thanks.
Do what we can.
Anybody else would like to address council? Okay. Committees and commissions. Beautification, Ms. Lingo?
Yes, all the flowers are in, and I want to thank Justin for ordering and hanging and getting the baskets up on Hamilton Avenue. They look really good, Justin. And I want to thank the Beautification Committee, Sarah Danks and her family, and Pam Sams for helping me plant everything. And Justin, thank you for the city for watering. So we're not carrying our jugs up there with water. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Questions for Ms. Lingo? Okay, Business and Partnership Alliance, Mr. Young.
Was not able to attend a business association meeting, but I did talk to the president of the association. Business Association awarded 3 $1,000 scholarships to 3 Mount Healthy seniors. They did that at the last meeting. Then the 3 seniors talked a little bit about what they were going to do with the money and how schooling and different things like that. So that was a great thing that they were able to do that, give out those 3 scholarships. So that's really all I have right now on that, and I don't have anything on economic development this month. I will next month.
Okay, thank you, sir. Questions, council? Okay, Finance, Mr. Parsons.
No report this time?
Okay, Library, Ms. Dosa.
Thank you.
The library is in full summer swing. The summer reading program has begun, and it goes from June 1st to July 31st. Kids and teens can visit any library location to sign up for the summer reading program. It's free. And then they receive a prize once they've completed it. The downtown main library will have a reopening celebration July 12th through the 14th. Family-friendly weekend, music, food, and activities. You can see on the library website more information about that, but they will be reopening the downtown main library July 12th through the 14th. David Gann will be speaking on September 25th at the Aronoff for the Arts as the 2024 Mary Stern Lecture Series speakers through the library, and tickets are now available. Every Tuesday of the month is Tween Activity Day for ages 8 through 12. Every fourth Tuesday of the month, they have STEM Club for teens. Upcoming on June 20th is Family Story Time, 10:30 a.m. to 11 a.m., and then they also have a sensory play date for children that starts at 11 to 11:45. June 24th, they'll have preschool summer sing party with original songs by May Festival Minis, and that'll be at 10:30. And they're also having on June 24th a graphic novel book club for teens ages 8 through 12. I'm sorry, for teens ages 12 to 18 for book discussion. So for more information about that, you can go on to the Mount Healthy Library website and look that up too, or the main library and click on Mount Healthy for more information about that. And that's all I have for the library.
Okay, thank you. Want to go to the parks?
I sure can. Gosh, I feel like I'm yelling at you guys, and I apologize in advance. My sinus and allergies are draining, so I'm coughing all the time, and I apologize. With the parks, the summer concert series has begun. The 2024 series, we still have several dates available for people if they want to sign up for council to do the concert series. We have had great turnout for the first two concerts. On the June 7th concert, of course, we did our park rededication ceremony, and we had a really good turnout. We had a prayer from Pastor, is it Mazi Baker? Is that how you say it? Mazi?
Allie, Pastor Allie, just say Allie.
Well, Pastor Allie from Trinity Lutheran Church. We allowed the children of the community to cut and take a piece of the ribbon with them as a reminder of the day. We gave away raffle tickets for people to win incredible gift baskets and prizes that included one-day passes to the pool. We gave away 2 tickets to the Cincinnati Children's Museum and tickets to the Cincinnati Reds games. We also gave out 25 charcuterie boxes. We had face painting and strolling magic and balloon art. We had a really great turnout. We had a lot of people come out to the park, and it was a good day for everybody. I think it was really an exciting day for the city of Mount Healthy. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say that I'm really thankful to all of you here and the people that helped tirelessly to make that happen. I want to especially thank Playground Equipment Services, or PES, City Council, City Manager Scott Bauer for my many, many texts and calls, Public Works Director Justin, and the Trinity Lutheran Church for their donations, and then the Kenny Kiffmeyer Foundation because they will be making a donation to the park, and the Peachtree Advocacy for their donations to the gift baskets. And of course to Mayor Junie Moody and the people of Mount Healthy that all helped to make that day successful, and that continues to help to make us getting park equipment in the park happen. I couldn't have done it with everybody's help. And hopefully we realize that this is only the beginning because we're going to continue to work on the park, continue to do more, expand, and get more things in the park. Again, I just would be remiss if I didn't say that, the dedication of the park is for all of us, not just for that day, but for all of us. I think it's a beginning, and I think it will be a great way to start strengthening our community and help us to continue working together on the betterment of the city of Mount Healthy. So thank you again for everyone who came out, who helped, who stayed, who enjoyed the concert, and for those who continue to do that. And again, the last thing I would say is that the Kenny Kiffmeyer Foundation, again, I said that has graciously committed to making a donation to the park for the play structures, which we'll be receiving shortly. Any questions, anybody?
Yeah, I'd like to see if we can get a park meeting together and talk about the band's contracts and how they get paid, or whether, You know, if they cancel or if we cancel, whatever, I just think that it should be looked at a little bit more.
Okay, we can definitely do that. I plan on having a meeting in July. I was looking at the calendar since we only meet for the 3rd. I would like to meet, if anyone can meet that before council. I don't know what the availability is of chambers, but if it's not available here, then maybe we can go across the hall and have a meeting at 5:30. So that would be before the next council meeting, which is July 16th at 5:30 here in Chambers. And we can talk about that amongst other things, because I would like to plan to do another event in the park in August, incorporating the pool. So I would love it if people could come with any suggestions, comments. Anything else?
Did you say 5:30?
5:30.
5:30.
Well, I still, not to harp, but for like this Friday's concert, it's gonna be like 100 degrees outside. I think something should be discussed before July 16th. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think Kathy should probably call the band and offer them if they want to either postpone or cancel completely.
She did reach out to them, and she said it's up to them, but the contract says that if they cancel because of weather, they don't get paid. And I realize that they signed that contract, but how often do we get 100-degree weather? And it's not weather, people like hot weather and want to come out to see them. I mean, I'm not saying these guys are old, but they're older, and they don't need to be on the stage. And we don't need to be sitting out. So I just wonder if we can't find a place for them at the end of the season, a guaranteed place, that we at least pay them half or the whole thing, because they're not charging that much for bands.
Oh, I know.
I mean, they really do give us a very big discount. So, you know.
We could offer to go to the Friday after Labor Day.
Yeah.
I think that would be like the first step, and if that doesn't work out, and if they say yes and they can't keep that date, then they don't get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we should at least offer them something
yeah.
instead of making, them cancel because it's 100 degrees,
And how
Yeah.
many people are
That's my
going to come
thought.
out?
And the sound man needs to be put on an alert that
Yeah.
we're talking about,
Absolutely.
talking about it as well. Because they get there very early.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I think that something needs to be done, and we can definitely look at that. Thanks, Peggy. I said thank you.
Okay, is that it then?
Anybody else?
Well, I'm just checking that you're done. Thank you.
I'm done.
Thank you very much. Safety, Mr. Redding.
No report other than the chief's report, so please check that out.
Okay, schools, Mr. George.
No report at this time, but since our last council meeting, I'd just like to congratulate the class of 2024 on graduating. But no report.
Okay. Streets, Ms. Rissel.
I don't have anything.
Okay, thank you. Mayor's report, Ms. Moody.
Yes, good evening. I'd like to, if you haven't noticed, and I know a lot of people have noticed, Angelo's, I believe the facade improvement is done. That was done with the grant. We'll have a banner that will be put up hopefully on the inside of the window that's going to acknowledge the county funds, city, and Third Century Mount Healthy. I want to do recognize Stephen Maynard of Third Century. He's a volunteer on Third Century, and he pretty much managed that whole project. We learned a lot from that project as far as how much money we had in the grant, trying to get bids, which were difficult for construction companies to do the work. The construction company that did the work, I think, did a fine job. It looks very nice, and I know some of the businesses are requesting, well, where's the next grant funding? And we do have new grant funding, $100,000. It's to be used up to 5 storefronts. We're going to have a meeting, when is that, July 8th, I believe? Yep, July 8th, with the county to talk about the details and how this will be worked out. So the funding, it has to be spent by the end of next year. Is that correct, Scott? And what the facade improvements would include would be awnings, new electrical under an awning light, any upgrade in electrical infrastructure, brick, acid wash, cleaning, tuck pointing, new facade cornice, replace doors, windows, storefronts, replace apartment windows, paint wood and door trims, paint block and brick trim, and any new signage. So we're going to have to be looking at a procedure in order to award businesses that would want to request any kind of facade improvement. And so we're going to be getting, we're going to work with the county to see the best way to utilize this $100,000. Hopefully this will just be the beginning of more money that will be coming. And so that's exciting, and the word has gone out. So businesses recognize, I mean, people are looking at Angelo's and recognizing what an improvement that is. Thankful that we got this money from the county, that we're getting more money from the county, and hopefully in the future there'll be more to come. This Friday, June 21st, the Alliance, Mount Healthy Alliance, their office is located in the Methodist Church right here. They will be having an event, Food for the Soul, and the 513 Relief Bus. And the 513 Relief Bus is pretty amazing. I just went to a We Thrive meeting, and they were talking about the relief bus. And so from 10 to 3, you can go up there and get free produce, food, and if you need any help in any way, they'll have resource bus there to help people with anything. I mean, I don't even know. Sierra George was there at our meeting, and Sierra, are you familiar with that 513 bus at all?
Yes, the 513 relief
Yeah.
bus, they have, it's like a mobile doctor's office.
Okay.
They have different resources. They have a doctor. They can check your blood pressure and get you connected to other resources.
Yeah, they have a lot of resources, and so usually that bus is booked way ahead in advance, so we're lucky that they're coming here this Friday from 10 to 3. If anybody's got any hours available, I know that Jacqueline would appreciate any extra help. I'm going to go up there and see if they need any help with just moving and making sure that it's facilitated, that people can come up and get free produce, fruit, and be able to utilize any of the resources. I don't know if you realized it, it was very small, but there was the first Mulberry Festival here in Mount Healthy. Alex, and I always mispronounce his name, Kasak, and Eric Tobin, who live here in town, coordinated a Mulberry Festival. Mulberries have a historic value here in Mount Healthy, and they had this at, and the winner is here. You were the winner at the Mulberry Festival. I was one of the judges. I didn't know that was hers. But they had lots of cakes, jams. They had a mulberry ice cream, which was amazing, and it was all free. And they want to expand on this and have a bigger Mulberry Festival here in Mount Healthy. We Thrive talked about it, and it could be an amazing, amazing thing because there's a lot of history connected to the mulberries and why the mulberry trees are here in Mount Healthy. So I was very pleased to be able to go and participate. A lot of work was done by Alex and Eric for that. The streetscape, I don't want to steal your thunder, so you want to talk. So the streetscape.
You can go ahead.
Okay. Well, I've been walking the streets to see if we can get a steering committee together. So we're supposed to have 10 to 15 people and businesses, but they also suggested we have a nonprofit on this steering committee too. So with this streetscape, they want input, and some of us were in a Zoom meeting. Joe brought up a good point. We got some young people I think are going to be on this committee, Joe.
Oh, you have some?
Yep.
Okay.
So I've right now recruited, I have 6 people, business owners, that have agreed, and I've got some more that I'm going to be looking at tomorrow. It's hot out there, so I'll be walking and see if I can secure at least 4 more people. Also looking at a nonprofit person, and I think we might have somebody for that. And so this steering committee will meet just 2 or 3 times with Human Nature, right?
Correct, yeah. We'll meet the first time in about a month, and then 2 to 3 more times probably after that, yeah.
So they'll be able to give input into what they think the streetscape in the core business district should look like, and also looking to expand that maybe into the alleys on either side, because we do have the advantage of having alleys here in town, which some communities do not have, and that could maybe be put to good use. One of the members of the steering committee, I was thinking about when I went to the We Thrive meeting today. So they've been doing a study with the county on the walkability in Mount Healthy, and they've been looking at they've been mapping out the walkability and some of the struggles we have in walking, some of the ways that, for example, and they brought up Compton, crossing Compton by the post office, they brought that up, and other areas that are difficult to maneuver. And they're looking at securing money to help with that. Well, if we're doing a streetscape study, it seems reasonable to have somebody from We Thrive maybe be on this steering committee, because if they're working kind of parallel to some of the things we're looking at, it would be nice that we would bring this effort together. Because one of the things that We Thrive does is look at needs of communities and then helping them secure money for grants. And again, at We Thrive today, they were talking about the Artworks project. I thought they got money for the murals. They did not. So what they're doing is working with Artworks and looking at what kind of murals we could have in town and placement. And then We Thrive will help us secure money for the murals. So that was something I wasn't quite sure about today. And when I went to the We Thrive meeting, I got a better understanding of that. We had, on Sunday, June 9th, there was an article in the Enquirer, and I don't know if you saw it, but it talked about the library, and it did quote Ms. Dosa in it, I believe. Did you know that?
I did not.
I have a copy, so you can have this. I know Justin was there at that meeting, and so it's a nice article. That was in Sunday, June 9th. I also want to say, just to let you know, sometimes I don't know how these things happen, but they do happen. So tomorrow at 9:30, our U.S. Representative Warren Davidson, his point person here in Hamilton County, has been reaching out to me for probably about 6 months, and he wants to meet with me at Square Mile at 9:30 tomorrow. So if you would want to stop up and meet your U.S. Representative Warren Davidson at 9:30 at Square Mile, come up and you can meet him. It's not very often that you have a congressman come to Mount Healthy and want to spend time at our coffee shop. It says a lot about our coffee shop because his representative met with me at the coffee shop about 6 or 7 months ago, and he was like totally impressed with the coffee shop. I was trying to tell him about our town. So Mr. Warren Davidson will be there tomorrow at 9:30, meeting me at the coffee shop if you would like to stop up and meet your representative. And of course, if you have anything you want to talk to him about, he usually knows people are going to hit him up with opinions or what's going on. I kind of would like to highlight what small cities go through, trying to revitalize and how important it is. So he will be up at the coffee shop at 9:30 tomorrow. Also, would like to be able to let you know that we've mentioned this before, that we will be doing the beverage booth July 3rd, and the proceeds will probably go to the park, or, we've got some things planned this year. And so I've got a sign-up sheet. So we're looking at hour-and-a-half intervals. We'll start at 5 and we'll be done, we'll stop right before the fireworks, I believe. So we won't be, giving beverages up until the fireworks start. And is that usually when usually I'm out of town with my son on their family vacation, but I'll be flying back on July 3rd in the morning. So, all right. So I need people, if they could help sign up to work that booth, I'd appreciate it. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Questions, Council? One note I'd like to bring up, Mayor, is that on the mulberry thing, Fibonacci makes a mulberry wine.
Beer.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Mulberry beer.
Yes.
And I picked and delivered about 1.5 gallons of mulberries to them.
That's right.
So
that's going to be part of it.
I don't even have no idea what it tastes like.
It was good. I tasted it. But that was a couple years ago. Yeah.
Muffins were good.
Mrs.
Muffins were
Sturworth
good.
won the first prize with her jam. It was
want some.
delicious.
Need some of that, for real.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the coffee shop is going to be doing a mulberry syrup. It wasn't ready in time for the festival, but they will be highlighting that. And so I think there's a lot of potential here in Mount Healthy to start having a festival theme with mulberries, because there's a lot to be said for the history with mulberries. And after tasting all of the things, the pies and the muffins and even the drink, that one drink that they made, it was a soda, mulberry soda. It was delicious. Yeah, it was wonderful.
There's a lot of people that, to this day, that I run into, that they think mulberries are poisonous. They will not eat them.
They're not, they're good.
They're wonderful. I've been
All I
climbing
know
the
is they
mulberry
stain the
trees
bottom
forever.
of your feet. When I was a kid, my mother would get mad because I'd come home with purple feet. Yeah.
It also makes a mess when it gets on your carpeting.
Yeah.
Okay, Mayor, is that it?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. City Manager's Report, Mr. Bauer.
Yeah, I've just got a few updates here. Test is scheduled for July 11th for our next full-time firefighter. We've got 7 full-timers right now. 6 of them are paramedic. The 7th is scheduled to graduate this August, so we'll actually have 7 out of 7 all have their paramedic certifications. So that's great. Let's see, streets. Harrison looks pretty close to being done. I know they got to put a final layer on everything, but it's looking really good. Forest, I haven't seen, I don't know that I saw much work done the past week, but all the water's done, the surveyors have been out, so I think they're getting ready to start grinding stuff up and putting new road down. So that's exciting. Let's see. What do I have here? We did submit for the Seward project of Sorta. I have listed on here OPWC that will submit Joseph and Hill. That's not due till September, so when it comes up, we have the ability to change our mind if we want to, but that's kind of what's on the schedule for now. I've updated the citations. April was a pretty high month. May, things kind of calmed down a little bit with the less rain. I've got updated aggregation pricing there. Still same recommendation to wait till the end of the year. On the back for the grants, Mayor already kind of ran through the streetscape. You know, we've got that steering committee coming up in about a month. They've done all their initial research. The presentation they made to us, they kind of inventoried everything along Hamilton Avenue. So that's kind of the first step, just gathering information about the city. Then they'll have the steering committee, and then they'll incorporate kind of our input into what their recommendations will be. So hopefully within the next 3 months, you know, we'll kind of be completed, and they can make a final presentation to us. Only other grant that I added here was the Community Impact Grant. There's no dollars attached to it, but you get project management services. So if you're trying to develop a property, purchase properties, anything related to economic development, they will offer services to just help you do that, help you accomplish that. So never done this before, don't know exactly what it would look like, but going to submit for it. Just basically help developing Hamilton Avenue, kind of see what happens. Let's see. Actually, I think, is that all that I have? Okay, that's all that I have.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bauer. Questions, council? Okay, move on then. We go to ordinances and resolutions. We have a second reading on a resolution.
Got one more.
Oh, I always skip that person, don't I? Public Works Director, Mr.
Oh, I'll keep it
Justin
short.
Westridge.
I'll keep it short. We opened the pool with no problems. Actually, took a lot less time than we thought it would this year. That's nice. Keisha's been keeping us busy in the park. We took all the rubber mulch from all 3 play sets and moved them to 1, so we're in compliance with how much mulch is underneath the play sets.
Thank you, Justin.
You're welcome. Which made room for a lot more wood mulch that PES put down for us. Plant some more wildflowers, clean up town for Memorial Day Parade, swept the streets on the parade route. So the guys have been working in the park with all the rededication and the concerts. So they've been pressure washing sidewalks and edging sidewalks and just making everything look a bit cleaner and nicer. So, you know, just been plugging away, doing our normal day-to-day stuff on top of that, mowing grass. Haven't been doing as much potholing as we need to, but once July 3rd's over, we'll be able to do that more. So, the cupolas on top of the community room are looking pretty rough. So I have an estimate here to have those replaced. Scott went ahead and gave me the go-ahead. It's like, you know, $4,500. The one's getting ready to fall off It's housing all of our security camera, Bluetooth stuff. So that's in the works. I do have a quote here for 3 more sets of speed humps. Delivered is right around $20,000. I don't know if you guys want me to order those or not, but I have the quote. And I got some new vacuum hose for our traffic counter. It got in a wrestling match with a lawnmower and lost. So 1809 sounds like you're the next spot for the traffic counter. Other than that, that's about all I got.
Thank you, Justin. Questions, council? Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay, now we're going to move on to ordinances and resolutions. I'm always jumping the gun. Yes, Mr. Redmond.
I do have a question for Melanie. Just real quick, I noticed May's month-to-date general fund revenues were $623,000. Was that due to?
What revenue?
The general fund revenues were $623,000 month-to-date.
It's the month-to-date.
So was that basically annual income tax collection held over from April or something like that, or?
I would have to look at that.
Okay.
To see what it,
I just noticed it was a little over twice the size of the March quarterly. So March quarterly was $290.
got the real estate taxes in. So
Yeah.
that was the big number in May.
Okay. I noticed,
Property taxes, real estate tax.
I noticed there was a separate line for the police levy. So maybe that's what's rolled up into the general fund, so.
Well, in
if
the
there-
general fund, it would be the, well, no, that would be.
Just inside millage,
Yeah.
but we usually don't get that much, do we?
I think it is.
So I was just curious, okay.
It was big.
Okay.
It was a big.
The income
I didn't-
tax did come in, it was 375,000, so that's,
For-
375,000 of that is just income tax.
Income tax,
Yep.
okay.
And then
Yep.
55,000 is the JED, so 431,000 was
Okay.
income tax.
Okay.
Then there's a JED Z also, so.
Yeah, the income tax has been doing well the past couple months.
That's good to know, okay. Thank you.
Okay, resolution and ordinances. We have a second reading on a resolution. Resolution number 24-1219. A resolution adopting a tax budget for 2025. We had the first reading on this at our last council meeting.
So we did add the additional page for the police levy. That's a new page. Page 6 is now dedicated to the police levy. But I guess you're still seeing an error on the.
I
page
believe
2.
there's still some problems. Maybe it should be tabled and looked at the next meeting.
Yeah, that's fine.
Now, if you know exactly what they are, I mean, we could change it here. If you're not comfortable changing it in the moment, is it just the line that's the general property tax on page 2? I mean, I think the page 6, the police levy, I think that's good.
General and the tangible property tax, both of those. And then,
I mean, it's fine to table it. I mean, but if again, it is an estimate, so if you think it should just, instead of 281, it should be 200, I mean, we could change it to what you're comfortable with if you know.
changes to what was in 2024.
So the first line, general property tax, real estate. that
And the
says-
second line.
That says, okay, so it says 281,000 and 47,000 currently.
Which then changes what's on the front page, page 1, from 237,000 to whatever it was before, 328,000.
So the 237 on the first page is for 2025. That should be good, right? Because that's tied to,
How much?
it says 237,000.
Well, that
That's
ties
the
to what's
190
wrong on page 2.
Yeah, that's the 198,630 and 39,071 on page 2.
Maybe it'd be better to look at it and
Okay, that's fine, yeah,
pass it for the next meeting.
that's fine.
You got time before the next meeting, Mel?
We do.
As long as everybody shows up.
So we're tabling this, is that the correct term, or we just?
Table?
Okay. First reading of an ordinance, ordinance number 24-2045. An ordinance assessing cost of the removal of high grass and weeds and declaring an emergency.
This is the usual. So Justin can attest that he has cut much less recently. I mean, anything he cuts is what's going to end up on this list. So at the very least, it's much less than I recall same time last year, so.
Council, what is your wish?
And these are much higher because we increased the administrative fee?
Yep. Correct.
I make a motion to suspend the 2 reading rule.
Mr. Parsons has made a motion to suspend the 2 reading rule.
I'll second.
Ms. Lingo has seconded the motion. Roll call.
Mrs. Lingo?
Aye.
Mr. Parsons?
Aye.
Mr. Redding?
Aye.
Mrs. Dosa?
Aye.
Mr. George?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mrs. Rissel?
Aye.
Okay, by a vote of 7-0, the 2 reading rule has been suspended. Are there any more questions or anything before we move on in regards to those? This ordinance? If not, then I would ask for a motion to adopt.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance number 24-2045.
Okay. Mr. George has made a motion to adopt. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Rissel seconded the motion. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Lingo?
Aye.
Mr. Parsons?
Aye.
Mr. Redding?
Aye.
Mrs. Dosa?
Aye.
Mr. George?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mrs. Rissel?
Aye.
Okay, by a vote of 7-0, ordinance number 24-2045 is adopted. The next one is ordinance number, excuse me, 24-2046. An ordinance to amend Chapter 156, the vacant and/or foreclosed property registration of the Mount Healthy Code of Ordinances.
So this one was put together at the request of Bill Knight. In general, it's all related to property maintenance. You have vacant properties and foreclosed properties. Foreclosed is, basically the bank has done a legal filing to formally foreclose on a property. And then vacant basically means there's no one inhabiting the building for 120 days. We need both of those to be true about a property for us to then put them on our registry list. The main advantage of being on that registry list is we can assess them a $500 fine, goes into a fund, and if you ever have a property that just no one's taking care of it, we have that broken windows, maybe there's animals or people breaking into it, we have a fund set aside that we can just board it up, put proper locks on it. It sets aside a little nest egg for us to be able to cover the costs of taking care of these properties. So currently, again, both of those have to be true, vacant and foreclosed. The changes that Bill Knight would like is that it could be vacant or foreclosed. It just gives him a lot more leeway. There's a number of properties in town that are pretty clearly vacant, but they're not foreclosed on. So if there's any kind of property maintenance issue, we don't have any way of assessing additional funds to help cover any of the costs of taking care of the property. So basically what this is getting at is it would change it from both having to be true to just one of them having to be true for us to be able to put them on our registry. So that's a $500 fine that we collect annually for any property that would be go on the list. Those are the big changes that he's asking for. There's a lot of redlining in here. Really, the only additions to the code are to properly define what vacant is and properly define what foreclosed means, and then, yeah.
So property becomes vacant after 120 days, so it's not considered, that's when they have to register.
Correct.
After 4 months.
Yeah, and it would not have to be foreclosed. It could not be foreclosed in 100, yeah.
Right.
As long as one of them is true, we would require them to register $500 a year annually they'd have to pay. And I think it's I mean, you can see it in your packet if you just kind of want to see what it looks like. It's fund number 765. We currently have $6,500 in there. So again, if you have to board up something, it can easily rack up $1,000. Safeguard a property so people aren't breaking into it, or animals aren't getting into it, or if there's a safety hazard, so.
So if you got the vacant, you do that, then do they do it again when, if it goes into foreclosure, you're gonna ding them again, or how does that work?
I think it puts you on the same list, so either way, it's just $500 annually. So yeah, I don't think you're not getting dinged twice
Okay,
or
I
3
just wanted-
times.
in case somebody asked.
Yeah.
Any other questions, council?
Can be 2 readings. I mean, there's not a rush on it. If Bill Knight's offered, if there's additional questions on it, just, make sure people are comfortable with it. He's more than happy to come to the next meeting. Whatever council would like.
2?
Want to have the first reading, council?
Yes.
Okay. First reading on ordinance number 24-2046. And we have a first reading on a resolution, 24-1220. A resolution authorizing the city manager to file application for NatureWorks Round 30 on behalf of the city of Mount Healthy, Ohio.
This one might be a little confusing. We have already applied. I submitted the grant. No one has to worry. But they allow you, if you don't have the resolution passed at the time of filing your application, you can pass it after the fact. So we technically have till the end of this month to pass this. I'd suggest doing it in 1 reading, so we don't have to have a special meeting to do a second reading on it. But this is just checking a box for the NatureWorks grant. Yeah, just authorizing me to do it.
Okay. Council, everybody understand that, what's going on? And what is your wish then? Do I have a motion to suspend the 2 reading rule?
I make a motion to suspend the 2 reading rule.
Okay, Ms. Dose has made a motion to suspend the 2 reading rule on this resolution. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Rissel, she beat you. Roll call when you're ready.
Mrs. Lingo?
Aye.
Mr. Parsons?
Aye.
Mr. Redding?
Aye.
Mrs. Dosa?
Aye.
Mr. George?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mrs. Rissel?
Okay, by a vote of 7-0, the 2 reading rule has been suspended. Further questions, council? Then when I ask for a motion to adopt.
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 24-1220.
Okay, Mr. Redding has made a motion to adopt, and
I second.
Ms. Dosa beat you. Ms. Dosa has seconded the motion. Roll call when you're ready.
Mrs. Lingo?
Aye.
Mr. Parsons?
Aye.
Mr. Redding?
Aye.
Mrs. Dosa?
Aye.
Mr. George?
Aye.
Mr. Young?
Aye.
Mrs. Rissel?
Okay, by a vote of 7-0, Resolution 24-1220 is adopted. That is all of our legislation. Old business. New business, council.
Just one thing about the concert Friday night. Just let me know, send me a text if they decide not to be there. Obviously, we'll get the message out to everybody through the city. And I'm good with extending it onto the last week of the,
Should we
or
have a
whatever.
meeting for that, or should we just tell Kathy that's what we're doing for this time and talk about it next time? I don't know what you want to do.
I mean, so in general, I was going to leave it up to the band to decide if they wanted to play on Friday. If they decide not to, I mean, I'm pretty sure we did it. Didn't we do it last year? We extended 1 week.
We had one that was
Yeah,
delayed, yeah.
We did one band last year, we
Yeah.
changed it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. We can decide that right now. I mean, that's fine.
Okay, as
Make sure
long as-
Kathy adds it to
but
the
if they
schedule.
cancel, I don't know. I know what the contract says, Kathy showed
To-
me, but it's 100-degree weather. I'm just torn.
No, I just think that we should just do the best we can to meet them on the other side of the schedule.
Yeah, at the end
So,
of,
yeah, at the end of the year, say, hey, if you guys want to cancel, great, can you pick it up, whatever, some Friday night in September? Is that fair, or, it doesn't have to be the first week following the last week, it can be the
It
second
should be,
week.
It could be
because
based
you
on
gotta
what
keep
their
the continuity.
Well, you do,
If you have a
but
break, nobody's gonna show up after that.
we'll get the word out. We'll get some mulberry pies up there.
Well, yeah, right, Joe, we'll have some event.
We'll give them
Yeah,
some,
we'll have
some-
we'll get them some charcuterie boxes.
Yeah,
That's right,
That
there
was
we go.
fun.
Free, first 25.
Get the word out.
We got
And we
that
got ice
down
cream.
now. Huh?
Oh, yeah, plenty of ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sure
We'll
we
make
can
it
figure
work.
it out. We
will make it work. So yes, Scott, if you could please find out what their availability is, we'll go from there.
Okay, other new business, council.
I have a question about the school speed limit sign down on Compton. It's still flashing at 3 o'clock. Is that our city to turn it off?
No, I have made the phone call. They are extremely busy, so.
The police won't be enforcing it 20 miles an hour?
probably
Maybe
not.
to help the speed.
Well, I know they're going 40 and 50 miles an hour anyway, right? I live down that way too, so I know what you're talking. Okay, well, hopefully they can get that turned off.
But, yeah,
Excuse me.
while we're on the subject, though, they will be in town tomorrow. Cap Electric is. Compton and Clover is gonna be a four-way stop. They have to, that traffic control box was hit in an accident or something, I don't know what happened, but it's all crooked and knocked off its base, it's gotta be reset, so they have to take and turn the electric off to that whole intersection. So tomorrow, that will be a four-way stop.
Okay.
Where at?
Compton and Clover.
Compton and Clover Nut.
Good, can we have it on Compton a little longer than like 2 cars getting through? That's just my request. I have to speed then, and then I'll get in trouble.
One time.
Yeah.
So it'll be flashing red, is what you're saying?
No, there
Nope.
won't even be any power at
Oh,
all
so they're
No
putting stop
power, it'll be a
signs.
four-way stop.
Okay.
All day?
Until they're done.
Okay.
Anything
no
else,
cost.
council?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know, I haven't looked today, but I noticed going north on Hamilton, the left thing to turn on to Madison, the light's not working. It's not red.
That was.
I wanted to-
Oh, the no turn?
Yeah.
I took notes. I just didn't take notes.
Like I said, I didn't notice it today, but last time I was going north, I'm like, hey, it's not working. That's all.
Like stop signs and red lights, it just doesn't work in Mount Healthy.
I know.
It's a no turn, no left turn light.
Well, I know, but they don't work either.
They just still go around and go, even though right turn only there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the police could make a lot of money there. People going the right lane is supposed to be right turn only, and half of them go straight.
What are your guys' thoughts on making that northbound lane no left turn all the time? Because it's gonna back up traffic. If you go around them, you're going through the right turn only line. So, you feel that light should be lit up, no left turn all the time?
Not all the time.
I don't think so.
No.
When it's non-rush hour, it's not
Then
that
you're just
bad.
gonna move the issue to Stevens, right?
We're
Go
back.
there Anyway.
Kemper.
Or Kemper, yeah.
Well, at least Kemper has a left turn lane. But
I mean, they go there anyway.
Anything else, council? New business?
Think about it.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Ms. Lingo has made a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'm good.
Mr. George?
I'll second.
Second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, council. Meeting is
Yeah, I'm
adjourned.
coming over to get signed up.
Sign up to help in the booth.
Melanie.